What's up, Knights of X? Welcome to another best 3v3 Grand Arena Teams video, and I want to apologize, guys, for being a day late on this. Celebrated an awesome Easter holiday with my family, and as you can see, guys, dealing with a little bit of a sun thing. I fell asleep outside, and check it out, guys. I am dying. Absolutely sunburned to crisp, but that's not going to stop the action today. Can't wait to talk about the best 3v3 teams for the upcoming season. And if this is the first time you're seeing this video, guys, I like to break it down into 3 separate categories. The best defensive teams, offensive teams, and a category called flex, where these types of teams can fit either on offense and defense, depending on where you want to place them or how your opponent sets their defense and stuff like that. All about trial and error. I'll give my reasons as to why they're in that category. But guys, it's going to be a very interesting season coming up. We have a brand new Datacron set, and not that I think that a majority of them are going to benefit more from 3v3 than 5v5. They're still going to change up the meta and stuff like that. And now we have the introduction to focused Datacrons, guys. And that alone is going to be a huge game changer. So, can't wait to get into it, guys. Always reminding you, if you enjoy this content, to like the video and subscribe if you're not already. That is the best way to support me, guys. And I do appreciate it. So, with that out of the way, let's get the ranking video started and start with the defensive teams. To start out the defensive teams, we have to go with the brand new Lord Vader team with Apo and CX-2, guys. This team is going to be nasty. They have a brand new Omicron as well to pair with this team. We have no data at all, guys. This is going to be an absolute menace this season for 3v3, especially on defense. Going to be really hard to take out, guys, not going to lie. Especially with the new clone, if you do go for him, going to get a massive Omicron boost that's going to greatly benefit Lord Vader. And then with the Apo Datacron, going to be even stronger, guys. If you have a high armor pen Kron or high crit damage, Lord Vader is going to be an absolute menace this season. I cannot wait to face him and see what's going to work. Probably going to have to use maybe a layer or something like that. But guys, expect a ton of Lord Vaders on defense this season. I have seen a bunch of players that don't normally wail on marquees or go for anything like that have gone for this character. So you're going to see a ton of these guys. So be very expectant of this team. If you guys aren't going for CX-2 and you only went for Lord Vader and Apo for the the Datacron, I would throw in Piet, because Piet has very good synergy with Empire. You can put the mark on your healthiest target, which might save your Apo. You put it on Lord Vader. When he does a basic, it's going to call it even more assist. So you're going to get the assist with Apo in his spawn, as well as an assist from Piet. Going to really benefit Lord Vader's damage and his assist capabilities. So expect a lot of this on defense, guys. If you don't feel like putting Piet, you can easily put Royal Guard. But I think that these 3 are going to be really good. That leads us to our next Galactic Legend pair, guys. And I'm kind of going to go show all 3 here, because they're kind of like combined. And it's going to be obviously the brand new Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano and Rey. And I kind of want to go over my mentality for all of these different teams, guys. We have seen in the past couple seasons, Ahsoka Tano is just not viable on defense without Ezra Bridger. So if you're going to place Ahsoka on defense, you can't place her without Ezra. She becomes easily Bo-Katan food, can be taken out by a bunch of different teams. It just does not make sense for that team to be set on defense without Ezra. So in my opinion, guys, you're going to want to set your Ahsoka with Ezra. Ezra is now fixed with all those bugs with the Omicron, so the Leia counter is going to be even harder. And now, you do still have Kylo, but we don't have that dark side turn meter in the beginning, so that could be a harder counter going forward. We're going to have to play out and see it, guys. But if you guys do have Ahsoka Tano, I do recommend sending her, Ezra Bridger with her. It's a game changer for that team. It makes her even more... It just makes her a viable team on defense. Without him, she is not viable. So that's my recommendation. Which goes into the next 2, guys. If you guys do not own Ahsoka Tano yet, and you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your Ezra, without a doubt, Ezra is going with Rey. Insane team. Probably the toughest team on defense in Grand Arena for, the past couple seasons is Rey, Ben, and Ezra. It's an absolute nightmare to get through. I just think that I'd rather create 2 really strong teams instead of 1. And I want to be able to set my Ahsoka on defense because she's a very good defensive Galactic Legend with Ezra. So I'd rather split it up into 2 teams. So what I'm going to do is, guys, I will be setting my Rey and Ben with Nest with the Scoundrel level 6. Yes, this can still be beaten by Malicos, but my goal here is to shut down my opponent from just using a regular Starkiller lineup. Because if your Rey is getting taken out by Emperor Palpatine, Mara Jade, and Starkiller, that's a win for your opponent. If you have to force them to use your Seer team with Starkiller and Malicos combined, that's a win for you, because now you just made them combine two really strong teams. So that's why I'm going to suggest Ray, Ben, and Nest into the team. If you guys don't feel like putting Nest in there, you could probably slot in Jedi Training Ray. Causes major annoyance. But I don't think Cal is going to be the best option for Ray, because I don't have an issue taking out Ray, Ben, and Cal with my Emperor Palpatine and Starkiller. So I do think that Nest is going to be the better option there. And that's going to be my recommendation for these three teams specifically, guys. So if you don't have Ahsoka, set Ezra with Rey. If you do have Ahsoka, put Ezra under Ahsoka. She's going to need him. Which leaves to the next team, guys. And that is going to be, I'm really excited about this, Maul DeLoreans. We finally are able to split Maul from Lord Vader and without destroying that team. So, guys, I'm going to be recommending Maul on defense with Imperial Super Commando and Gar Saxon. It's a really strong team, and you don't see it often because, like I said, Maul is always with Lord Vader because that makes a super team. And now with all the new Darkside clones, we finally get to use the Mandalorian team. It's a great team, very hard to take out, and it's going to actually surprise a lot of people on defense this season. Really excited for Maul. Can't wait to try him out. And then here, guys, I'm going to be putting Baylan in my recommended for defense, guys, because we don't have to deal with a Fulcrum level 9 anymore, and you're not going to see a lot of Fulcrums with these teams anymore, which means Baylan's offensive viability against certain comps is not going to be as good. I do not think Baylan's going to be able to take out Ahsoka Tano anymore. Might be able to take out Rey. I don't know if he's going to take out Rey with Ben very easily, Rey, Ben, and Ezra, but I do think that Baylan on defense is going to be really strong. They have a really good mercenary level 6, very strong character, and it's just not going to be, I don't think it's going to be as good as offense as it was because we're going to see less Fulcrum. So that's why I'm putting Baylan on defense this season. And that moves to the next team, guys, and that's going to be a Queen Amidala team. And for, forever, I do think Queen is going to be a very good defensive staple. Yes, she's very good at taking out offensive teams. In 5v5, one of my opponents was able to take out my own Rey with it, take out a Jabba. So Queen is good on offense, but I think in 3v3, you're going to want her on defense. She can really surprise your opponent. If it forces your opponent to use Bane, and you're hiding a very big team in the back where they no longer have Bane, that's a win for you. So, guys, Queen is always going to be a very strong defensive team. They're actually pretty surprising if you have the 25% Terminator Datacron. It can actually shut down a couple of counters. So, really keep that in mind, guys. I do think Queen is a very strong defensive team. And that leaves the next one, and that's going to be Saw, guys. And if you guys have seen my Grand Arenas, you know how I feel about Saw. I think he is such a strong Omicron character. You pair him up with Luthen and Rex, especially with this Datacron set, guys. I'm personally going to be running the Saw level 9. I do not feel like relicking up my Bodhi Rook. Yes, the Datacron is good. I'm personally not going to do it, but I will recommend him here. But if you guys have that stacking offense and speed, or the light side max out the protection 3, with the max health damage level 6, there are so many debuffs in this team, guys, with Saw's opening play, his blind, Captain Rex's AoE. That's a ton of debuffs, a ton of damage, guys, and Luthen is such a good character. Really expect big things from this team. If you guys do have Bodhi relicked up, if you bought the Lightspeed bundle, I would swap in Captain Rex for Bodhi, make another really strong Rebel Fighter team, and then you can maybe put your Rex with your other clones like OG Rex and 5s. But for me, this is the team that I'll be running on defense. I think it's going to be really strong. And then always, guys, I'm always going to include Tuskens in the 3v3 list. They have a really good Omicron. I have lost countless Grand Arenas from Tuskens in the past because either my Rogue One doesn't work or I used my Traya somewhere else and I didn't have enough in the tank to be able to take these guys out. If you put Tuskens in like a front wall situation where you're forcing your opponent to use a really strong team and they don't have anything for the back, that's a win for you, and it can really change the tide of your Grand Arenas, guys. So Tuskens, absolutely a defensive staple this upcoming 3v3 season. And then, guys, we got to talk about Zori, because Zori is, I know a lot of players think she is losing viability out of, like, Kyber 1, but I highly disagree, and there's a really good Datacron set for her, where you're going to get the 25% turn meter in the beginning. You have the Smuggler Evasion 6, so you're not guaranteed to hit her, because she is a smuggler, so this is going to surprise a lot of people. We now have an Afra-focused Datacron, which is disgusting. And if your opponent is using a focused Datacron and Afra on Zori, that's just not worth it. That's a huge, not a good trade-off for you. So we're going to have to come up with a different counter for Zori besides Afra, and this could really throw off your opponent. If you have a fast resistance hero Finn, the 25% turn meter, that train's going to get started, guys. So Finn, Zori, and resistance hero Finn, always a very strong team. And then, guys, we're going to talk about a little bit of the newer set, and Trench, Watt, and Dooku is going to be my recommendation for the Separatist, guys. And I would run this if you have the Count Dooku level 9. I think Separatists are going to get a huge boost. I think Dooku is going to be very strong in 3v3. Trench is another one of those teams where you don't want to overkill. You want to be able to figure out what's a good even playing field as in terms of a counter. And sometimes you can mess up and you can drop a battle, and that's going to cost you the Grand Arena. With the Dooku Kron included, it's going to make that decision even harder for you guys. So, Trench, Watt, and Dooku is going to be my recommendation for 3v3 this season with the Dooku Datacron. Then moving on, guys, we have Dash, Han, and Chewie for the Smuggler level 6, and I'm recommending the Dash level 9. Han's going to take his opening stun. Dash will take his bonus turn, apply his AoE. And then Chewbacca has a stun. You're constantly bouncing those turns back to Dash. Is it one of the strongest meta-breaking defensive teams? No. But if your opponent doesn't bring in the right counter, it could really throw you off, and they can get that turn meter train going and just stun lock you, and they take a bunch of turns. Very annoying. And with the Smuggler level 6, you're going to have a hard time hitting them. So I think this team is still going to be very strong no matter what. And then in terms of like a good backwall team or a team to try to like throw off your opponent, I'm recommending Kira, Vandor, Chewie, and L3 as another Smuggler level 6. We do still have that Smuggler Evasion Cron, guys, and that's not going to go away for a couple seasons. So really strong, very annoying. If you don't bring in the right team that has enough debuffs or abilities that can be evaded, you're going to be in for a very long night. So guys, that's going to be a little bit back wall team that I'm going to recommend that could possibly throw off your opponent. Then we have to talk about the new Bad Batch, guys, and I personally don't have a ton of experience with them, but my mentality with this team is you're going to want the leader, you're going to want the damage dealer, and you're going to want a tank. So I'm going to be recommending Omega, Crosshair, and Wrecker. I think this team is going to be really good, especially with the new Datacron set, guys. We have a Bad Batch Datacron, and I think you're going to want to run the Crosshair level 9 with this. I think Batcher might be better for the 5v5 variant, but in 3v3, I think Crosshair is definitely going to be strong. Wrecker, a very good tank. Very hard to get through. Absolutely no joke, guys. And these two characters also have Omicrons applied, so that's why I want to pair them up together. And having a tank is just extra helpful. So, guys, if you do happen to have the new Bad Batch, that's the team I'm going to recommend. And then the next defensive team I'm going to recommend, guys, is going to be Grievous Stap and B1 Battle Droid. And that's going to be with the newer set, guys, with General Grievous, with the Riposte. Stap with the Omicron. So many turns. B1 is constantly being called to assist, taking a bunch of turns. Grievous is going to be called to assist. That's a lot of damage. A lot of target lock. I do think this is very good. No, I'm not including the tank here. I think Grievous just going full offensive glass cannon as a defensive team could definitely surprise some of your opponents. And I do recommend it for defense. So, guys, that is going to be the defensive list. We're now going to move into the offensive list and see what teams I'm going to bring there. Starting out the offensive list, we have to talk about one of the most exciting Datacrons for this set, and that's going to be Darth Sidious with his Datacron, guys. He's going to be a solo machine, guys. I cannot wait to do this. I remember in the past, I was able to solo like Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, sometimes a Finn Resistance team, a bunch of teams. We're going to find out what it can do this season. I think it's going to really change up your opponent's defense, because now it's going to be, if my opponent can set a team that can be beaten by Sidious, it's no longer a good defensive team. So really, your opponent is going to have to think, because that's going to be a very high efficient win for your opponent. It's going to be like 59 banners, guys, and that is really good in most situations. It can really turn the tide in grand arenas. So Sidious solo with the brand new Datacron is going to be killer this season. Then, guys, we got to talk about this team, and this one I'm super excited about because I posted a video a couple days ago. I'll post it in the description down below if you didn't catch it. But this team is taking out Galactic Legends in a 3v3 format. I was able to take out a Jabba easily. I was able to take out a Leia and a Ahsoka Tano with an Ezra Bridger. The Omicrons were not activated because it was Squad Arena, but still being able to win against that team is pretty huge, and he's not going to stop there. He's going to be able to take out a bunch of other teams that aren't GLs. If you guys have the Focus Datacron, you're going to be in great shape. It's a great team, taking out a lot of offensive teams. Very, very good. Now, guys, we're going to get into the next three. I kind of have these kind of combined because it's situational. I want to talk about the different situations of Sith Eternal and Bane. Sith Eternal and Bane combined create a super team. Sometimes it's not worth it because you're kind of breaking up two Galactic Legend type of teams. But there are certain situations where you're going for a high banner win. You're facing Ahsoka with Ezra or something like that, and you want to guarantee that win. You're going to want to combine them. But what I'm going to recommend, guys, I personally like running Sith Eternal solo for teams like Gas, Malgus, etc. Other teams that I like to get those high banner wins with. So I like doing Sith Eternal solo, and then I like running Bane with like Assassin or sometimes Sith Empire Trooper. But I just want to show you guys, you're going to see me during the season probably mix and match with these three combinations. So definitely can use the rule of two. If not, use Sith Eternal for a solo situation. If you're facing a Kenobi and you're in a pinch, throw in Armorer and maybe Thrawn or Sith Empire Trooper or Geonosis and Brood Alpha. But for the most part, guys, that's going to be what I'm recommending for these three. And then for offense, guys, I am recommending JMK again. I think he's going to be better on offense this season. I think he's going to have a lot more counters in 3v3. Easily countered by Balin, easily countered by Inquisitors, and easily countered by Reva. So I do think Kenobi is better off on offense personally, guys. That doesn't mean he's going to be absolutely terrible on defense. I just think I don't want my Kenobi to be taken out by non-GL teams that easily. So Kenobi, for me, is going to stay on offense. He's still going to be very good. Then, guys, JML. Unfortunately, JML is not the best defensive Galactic Legend. He's kind of losing his touch a little bit compared to the upper echelon of GLs. He's more towards the bottom half. That doesn't mean he's bad. He's very good at taking out annoying teams. With the Cal Kestis level 9, you're able to get to that insta-kill even easier. Jedi Knight Luke is very strong with his stuns and his assist and getting that counterattack and stuff. JML is going to be very good at taking out certain teams, just not the best GL in the game right now. Then, guys, we're going to show another combined three here because these are all situational, guys. And I'm going to show you a regular Starkiller team and a OG Unaligned Force User team like the original that I like to run. Personally, guys, these top two are going to be what I prefer. I want to make sure I could utilize both teams to their full extent instead of combining it to make a super team. Like, you take Goku and Vegeta and you're making, like, Vegito. That's what I like to refer to this team. I want to keep Goku as Goku, and I want to keep Vegeta as Vegeta, but sometimes there's certain comps you got to make Vegito. But that's my mentality with this kind of recommendation, so definitely love keeping them split, but there's going to be situations where I understand you're going to have to combine them, guys, so that's why I'm showing you all three here. Then, guys, we have Bo-Katan Mandalore, and I do think that she is more of an offensive tool. Her banner recovery is not the same as it is in 5v5 because we're missing OG Bo, but she's still going to be able to take out a lot. I'm hoping she can take out Saw. Probably not. Probably not. I think Saw is going to be very strong this season, but I don't think she's going to be able to take out Lord Vader anymore. I do not recommend that, but that doesn't mean she can't take out a number of other squads. So, guys, Bo is definitely staying on offense for me. Then, guys, we have Night Sisters, and I'm throwing this in there because you can get a really good cheese going against certain Jabba comps. They have good banner recovery. The Plague is a very strong mechanic, and Daka has the revives. So, I personally do not run this trick on my own. I don't have the Omicron on Merrin or anything like that, but I will throw it on this list because Night Sisters are still a very good team that could still function well in Kyber 1 against certain comps, so I have to throw them on this list. Then, guys, I am putting Raditz in here because Raditz is very good against Empire, and he's very good at taking out Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, and I'm sure you guys are going to see a bunch of Dark Trooper Moff Gideons on defense this season. That team's viability is definitely going down, but that doesn't mean you're not going to see them by a ton of players. So, Raditz with Jin, and I like K2SO as a tank, will be very helpful for taking out those nutty Empire teams like Iden or Dark Trooper Moff Gideon. Which leads to the last team on the offensive list. I'm recommending Dark Trooper Moff Gideon as an offensive team instead of a defensive team. You don't want your Dark Trooper Moff Gideon to be taken out by a Raditz team. It's a Conquest character versus a Marquee. Don't like that trade-off. My personal goal for Dark Trooper Moff Gideon this season is to be able to take out Grievous. I don't know if it's going to work. It's going to be a ton of damage coming out your way. We need to see how it's going to play out, guys. But that is going to be the offensive list. We're now going to get into the really fun category, which is going to be the flex. So let's get right into it. So the flex category, guys, this one's always the most fun for me because it kind of you can mix and match what you want to do with these teams and try to throw off your opponent. And I have to start out with one of my favorite teams in the game, guy. Kylo Ren with Darkseid Ray, and I'm throwing in Crew as a tank because I think Crew will shut down a ton of other counters compared to what Hux will bring on defense. Very strong team. I think if you're going to bring in Kylo on offense, you bring in Hux. If you put him on defense, I think you're going to bring in Crew, a little bit more survivability, tankiness, stuns. Very, very good. Darkseid Ray is no joke. Yes, this team can be beaten by Bane, but Bane can also beat a ton of other teams. So, guys, Kylo, no matter where you use him, good on offense, good on defense, never going to disappoint you. Then, guys, Leia. And this one, I was so close to putting them strictly on the offensive list. But, guys, with the tank revive level 3 for light side, it could actually throw off your opponents a little bit. So that's why I decided to keep her in the flex. She has way too many counters this season, guys. There's too much stuff beating Leia for my comfort. So, probably for the most part, depending on if my opponent has certain focus datacrons or not, I'm probably going to put her on offense. If I want to try to throw them off, maybe I'll sneak her in the back wall some days. But with the light side level 3 tank revive and the Drogon bonus turn, I think this is still a strong team. In certain divisions of Kyber or wherever you are, you can't be disappointed with Leia. I don't think she's an absolute defensive staple. I'm not recommending her fully for defense. But if you guys want to throw off your opponent, throw her on defense sometimes, you might as well try it. You might get some holds. And guys, this is the most surprising one for me. Jabba has always been a core defensive team for me in this game. But guys, with these 2 new focus datacrons and my testing, Jabba might be just not a defensive team this season. Depending on where your opponent went with their datacrons, depending on their situation, you might want to throw Jabba on offense because he's going to be beaten by Boba Fett, son of Jango, and he's going to get destroyed by Dr. Aphra. So it might be a kind of a chess match where you think your opponent's going to set Aphra on defense or whatever they do. You got to try to guess what they're going to try to put out on you. So wherever you use Jabba, be cautious if he's on defense because he's going to be taken out by quite a bit. But if you bring him on offense, you might be able to take out some annoying teams with higher banner wins. If you end with ult, you're going to finish with high banners. So maybe Jabba is a better offensive team this season. We're going to have to see. Then, guys, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about Aphra. Normally, I set Aphra as a pure offensive team, but this focus datacron is nasty. She cannot be focused in the beginning. So you're not going to be able to target her with Chewie or with Han opening play. So this is really strong. We've seen the testing. The stats alone on the datacron are insane. So much potency, so much damage, guys. No joke. I think once I get the focus datacron, I'll probably bring her on offense to take out Jabba's if I see Jabba's on defense. But I will throw off my opponents by placing her on defense sometimes every now and then. Going to be a really good team. Then, guys, Inquisitors. I'm putting Inquisitors in the flex category because they can actually throw off your opponent quite a bit. I would normally recommend them for offense, but after, previous seasons, I've lost to them in the past. It's not as easy as a win as you think. It's not many, distinct counters. You can use unaligned force users. You can obviously use Bane. Bane is needed for so many things. So this team alone could really mess up your opponent and make them think about what they have to do. And it actually beats a lot. Surprisingly, it really beats a lot of good teams. Reva is still a nutty team for defense and offense. You're really going to do a good job wherever you use her. Great Grand Arena team. Then Gungans, guys. Gungans, I'm not going to put them purely for defense or offense. I think they have a use. I've never got it to work. They can beat Balin. They have good banner, recovery. They could take out a bunch of really good teams. Maybe they're the team to take out Grievous this season. That might be their use. Don't know if it's going to be a guarantee. We're going to have to see. But I think no matter where you use Gungans, they're going to be strong. They can easily be taken out by Trey and stuff like that. But they're still a very good Grand Arena team, guys. You can't dispute that. Then, guys, General Skywalker, always a very good team. Personally, I like throwing him on defense because he's very good at, taking away banners. He doesn't have good banner recovery, so you're not going to miss out anything on defense. It forces your opponent to do stuff like Sith Eternal solo or do some risky plays with like CLS or stuff like that. So General Skywalker still, as old of a character as he is, still relevant in this game today. Very good defensive team, but also could take out a bunch on offense. He's probably going to give Saw a run for his money every now and then. He could take out Tuskens. very good team. Very good team. It's just the banner recovery for me is where you start to lose me, but still going to be viable in Kyber 1. Then we have Omicron, Qui-Gon Jinn, and yes, Day 1 Omicron character still has relevancy in Kyber 1 today. In all divisions, guys, Ki-Adi-Mundi and Anakin are a very strong team. If you throw them on defense, you're going to get your opponent guessing on what to use. I've tried to mirror it, and I've actually lost mirror matches in the past, so it's not a guaranteed win, but they can also take out a bunch on offense, guys. They can take out Great Mothers, which is really good. The fact that they can do that is amazing, guys. So, very happy with that. Then we have Trey, guys, with Nihilus and Savage. Very good on defense. Forces your opponent to use a very strong team. You have to use almost like a Galactic Legend type of team. It's very, very good. Can't go wrong with them. And then, obviously, on the bottom, guys, this is where I'm going to be using my Talon Datacron. I was thinking about putting it with Traya, but Nihilus is just too important for a Traya squad. So I'm going to be recommending Malgus with Malik and the Darth Talon level 9, guys. She's going to get a ton of protection up, a ton of turn meter, inflicting fear. I think it could be very strong with the Malgus team. And it might be able to shut down a couple counters. So hopefully we can see some good stuff out of Talon this season. Then, guys, I have in the flex, I have the Imperial Remnant team. They're actually good at taking out a bunch of stuff on offense, surprisingly. I have a bunch of my old videos showcasing them taking out a bunch of different things. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they're actually better than I thought. But even on defense, if your opponent doesn't bring in the right thing and they try to underkill it, they could end up getting a loss. So, guys, I have them at Relic 9 because of the Assault Battle. I might throw them on defense to do it's like a filler teamer every now and then. But also, if I want to use them on offense and get me out of a pinch, that's who it was. I beat a gas team. I was able to beat a General Skywalker team with this team in 3v3. So that is great value. Marquee versus Epic Confrontation. Can't go wrong with them. And guys, Great Mothers. We got to talk about Great Mothers because are they a very good defensive team? Yes. They can be easily beaten by Darth Revan, though. And a lot of players are going to, be running that Darth Revan with Zalbar and Mission variant. So, but they're also really good at taking out things on offense like Queen Amidala. If you have a high critical damage cron and you have a high relic spirit, you're going to be able to beat out Queen teams. And that, to me, is a absolute game changer. It saves my Bane for other teams. So that's why I like putting them in flex, because they're really good with wherever you put them, guys. Great Mothers are still going to be a very strong team no matter what. And then, guys, you've got to talk about this team, and I really wish that this team was better in 3v3, but the Santa Datacron is strictly meant for 5v5, in my opinion, guys. That's where it shines. You get some really cool off-meta counters with Santa and IG, and you're able to slot Santa and a Rey team, and it makes her almost unkillable sometimes. But in 3v3, it kind of loses its touch. This team is easily beaten by Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, but if you can get the team ramping, if you can build up those Whistling Birds, if you can get Hondo to get high stacks of his passive, you might be able to throw off your opponent and actually take out a couple things. You can cheese your opponent with the Smuggler level 6. So, if you guys are looking for another fun team for defense or a weird team on offense to use, this could still probably work. And then, guys, I'm putting this to the flex. Last season, I had it in the defensive list, but they're easily beaten by Gungans, and they're really good on offense. So, guys, I'm recommending Darth Revan, Zalbar, and Mission in the flex category. If your opponent mistakenly places Gungans on defense and you have this, they're going to have to think a little bit harder on what to use. Not as straightforward as you think. And on offense, guys, you can easily get a 54 banner win against Great Mothers. And Great Mothers are another team where you're going to have to, think hard about what you want to use. So this is a very good team. It has a focused Datacron now, so that's another thing. So maybe on defense, it might be a little bit stronger. But Gungans might still be able to handle it, guys. That's why I'm putting it in flex, not a definitive offense or defense. Expect this team this season. And the last team in the flex category, guys, I have to recommend one of the first teams I ever got in the game. That's going to be CLS, 3PO, and C3PO and 3PO. And the reason I'm putting it in the flex category, guys, is because on offense, if your opponent places a Star Killer team and they have the Emperor Palpatine level 9, and you have a very good Tenacity Datacron, you could take out Star Killer. That's why I actually like this team in a pinch. Being able to take out Star Killer with a non-legendary, well, CLS is legendary, but he's like one of the first legendaries. It's not like a very hard legendary. I think that's worth it in my opinion. On defense, if you guys are running out of defensive teams to put and you don't know, you don't want to throw in anything crazy, CLS will still make your opponent think a little bit. If they bring in the wrong team, it's going to cost them. So, guys, that is going to wrap up the best 3v3 teams for the upcoming Grand Arena season. And I'm very curious about your guys' opinions. Brand new Focus Datacron set. Brand new Datacron set. Lots of new teams. Lots of new metas. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Was I right? Was I wrong? Do you have any questions? Gotta let me know, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button. And if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to the channel to become a Knight of X. And I'll see you guys in the next video. May the Force be with you all.